Alright, so I figured it out. You can't use the same two turntables with two different computers without pulling out the cables in the back. It's pretty silly. I mean you can't use them at the same time. So what you got to do, so right now I've got a track playing, if you can see there, USB number 3, and over here this one is using USB 2. So what if I go like this and just turn that off, back over here on my MacBook, I can then select USB 2, which means that now I can use this turntable. Switch that back onto USB. I can now use this turntable to control this one. So that one's playing on there. So I guess I'll turn that down a bit. I guess it's kind of good if you're wanting to change over, make it a lot more smooth, but I mean, it doesn't enable you to use two computers. So say for example you're going back to back with someone DJing, you can't, you'd have to switch it over like that every time. So it seems like a bit of a limitation for me. Still pretty cool though, but could have been so much cooler. Of course, if you had 4 decks, then you got no problem, But when you're talking about 4 decks, you might as well just have 2 mixers as well. So, but there's some other cool features on here, like, you got the Q buttons and something I found a bit strange is this flex effects thing. You've got an on and off button here, and then for every channel there's an on and off button. And it seems kind of silly to have, like, why isn't that just on all the time and then have all these off? You know what I mean? And then when you want to use them, just click it on like that. Down here you've got a volume for the effects, which seems kind of strange as well on the front, because there's like a level depth here, which is sort of like, not like volume, but it increases the intensity of the effect. But I just thought this button here is kind of redundant, like with all these on and off buttons here. So and then even for the mics, they got flex effects on and off buttons here too. So but the screen's kind of helpful, like you can't even see it on the camera there. But it tells you general information like the BPM and what type of signature you're echoing by and whatnot. But yeah, and you've got the loop section here. But over here, there's this button here called, I don't know if you can see that, control point. And above it says USB A and USB B. And when I press that, everything switches. So all the cue points are now controlling computer A, which is my MacBook. If I switch it back, then it's controlling my Toshiba. So as you can see, if I'm pressing 1 here, and nothing's happening. So I have to switch it, and then if I press 1, it'll go back to the start. But yeah, I thought like obviously the fade is awesome because it's a Rane, and all these are brilliant. And actually, this is kind of cool as well. The filter, I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of like on the 800, how you got these ones here, the color, and then you've got like the effects there. Let's turn that down again. So it's kind of like that, but you can't change what it does. It's just a low pass and a high pass, so it'll sound like this. Go up nice and high, and then when you put it down. But I like it how if you go all the way down, it's silence. All the way up, it's silence. so you can do some really cool, nice fade-ins like that. But overall, like, the buttons are shit. Like, compared to the 800, you know, it doesn't take a lot of effort to press down, like, you know, the tap button and all that. The 800 buttons, which is, I mean, the 800 is one of my favorite mixers ever. And it's because the buttons on it are so awesome. There's no chance that you're gonna go for a press and miss it. Like, it clicks every time with like just the smallest amount of pressure. But these ones seem, I don't know if it's new or if it's because it's new, but they seem really tough. And if you go and you just miss and you hit it on the side, like, it seems kind of hard to press down. So I don't know. And you wouldn't want to be beating them too hard because it's a pretty expensive mixer. So but yeah, that's the 68. I'm kind of disappointed that you can't use, you know, two laptops with two turntables, you know, at the same time, but it's still a cool mixer.